Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Scouts. My name's Rob. I'm with Dan and Scott.
Hello. How's it going?
And today's episode, we're going to be doing a mock draft. So, pretty simple. It's going to be a 12-man standard league. And pretty basic. I'm going to have the first pick. Dan's going to have the sixth pick. And Scott's going to have the 12th pick to kind of give you guys an idea, depending where you're picking, of who to draft.
And we got a bunch of our little helpers here too.
I would have taken an earlier pick, but it'll just screw up everyone's because I'll take a receiver and no one else in the world is doing it, so it's going to screw up the regular mock draft. So I just took 12 to make it
we
easier.
wanted to spread out our three picks to kind of give you an idea. Like if you're picking second, then you can kind of roll with what I'm doing, and if you're picking 11th, then you can kind of see what Scott's doing. And so we wanted to spread out the picks, and then obviously all the other picks are real people. It's we're doing this on Yahoo, and so we'll mention all the other picks as well as ours, and we'll touch on who we're drafting as well. And we're gonna run by all these picks. I'm not sure how many rounds it is, but we're gonna do it all. 15 rounds.
I think so.
Something like that. It goes deep, but it goes fast though with the timer they have.
So we are on the clock here. It's going to be 30 seconds per pick, so it should go pretty quickly.
I'm going to turn mine off.
All right. First pick overall, I'm taking Christian McCaffrey. It's honestly between him and Dalvin Cook for me, and there you go.
Dalvin Cook just goes second.
Dalvin Cook goes second, yeah.
Yeah, you'll see a run of 10 running backs, something like that. You're gonna every single mock draft you do, you'll see this 10 top running backs. It's always gonna be running back eccentric, especially when new people join. You know, it's always gonna be running backs that are heavy to start the draft.
Derrick Henry went third. Alvin Kamara goes fourth.
I got my guy right here, Nicky Chubb.
Jonathan Taylor goes fifth.
So Dan, take it away. You took Nick Chubb at sixth.
Nicky Chubb. He's always, going to be a workhorse. Doesn't get a lot out of the backfield, but, he's...
Chubb did something that I really liked last year. He got hurt, and he still came back. He still bounced back and played well. That's a very rare thing to see in fantasy football, see a player get hurt and come back.
Yeah.
So I really like Chubb for that reason.
So Dan takes Chubb at 6, and then these other guys, Zeke takes 7, Zeke goes at 7, Saquon at 8, and Scott with the 12th pick. We're waiting on a couple other guys here.
I'm following my receivers right now. You know, it looks like Tyreek Hill's probably going to get drafted on me in this spot. But it's entirely possible that in your draft he will fall to you if he's a guy that you like, and I'm a big Kansas offense guy.
There you go. Travis Kelce goes at...
He's actually climbing in these rankings now. Travis Kelce's gone from 12th to like 9th.
There goes Tyreek Hill right behind him.
Tyreek Hill at 9. At 10.
Antonio Gibson at 11.
Antonio Gibson goes 11th. Wow.
So for the time being, I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins, and we did debate if we were going to talk about him in our earlier news episode.
Yeah, so Hopkins goes 12 for Scott. Gibson he's ranked pretty high, so I mean it's not the worst pick, but yeah, Gibson at 11's I don't know about that.
Sorry, I had to make the swing picks. So we talked about it earlier as well about Devonta Adams. I took DK Metcalf for the time being. Obviously, my plan was to take Michael Thomas in the earlier episodes. Very upset about that right now, so I'm scrambling a little bit to readjust. I took DK Metcalf for now. I really like what I saw out of him last year.
So Scott takes Hopkins and Metcalf with the swing pick to 11 or 12 and 13, and then Aaron Jones goes 14th overall, and then we got Stephon Diggs 15th.
My plan now is going to be to monitor Kittle to see if he's going to hang around, and then monitor the running backs that I have to target. Because there's a specific pool of them that I will be looking at. This is what's good about mocking and having your draft lottery. You can really focus in on the players that are available to you. I know that a lot of these guys, Najee Harris, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're going to be gone very soon. And This is a way to be very stress-free during your draft when you get there. A lot of people make bad choices on draft day in a panic, feeling pressured by the clock, all sorts of reasons.
So Calvin Ridley goes 16. Joe Mixon goes 17th. Austin Eckler goes 18th. Dan is on the clock.
And just because he's there, Devontae Adams.
I think that's a really good pick. Mid-second
Absolutely.
round. I really like that pick.
Not a lot has to be said. He is a perennial elite guy right now. It's just
It was between him or CeeDee Lamb, and if a touchdown pig is there.
I don't
an
think
easy one.
I don't think there's even an argument to be made there, Dan.
But I see how you like CD for sure. After Adams, Clyde's Edward Hilaire. Najee Harris goes 21st. J.K. Dobbins goes 22nd. And I'm on deck. Got A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson here as our top two wide receivers left on the board. Chris Carson goes 23rd. I'm on the clock. And looking at the top of the rankings here, I really like Justin Jefferson, so I'm going to take him. And then now for my swing pick, let me see here. I'm not big on A.J. Brown. I really like Terry McLaurin. Darren Waller, possibility. Mahomes is still there, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that I like this year. I guess I'll take McLaurin. Montgomery would have been a good possibility as well. All right, behind me we got Keenan Allen going 26. Patrick Mahomes, first quarterback off the board, obviously, 27th. A.J. Brown, 28.
And I just went David Montgomery at 30, and Waller was there in between us.
So Dan takes David Montgomery.
Dan?
You like that pick, yeah?
Yeah, that's a great pick. Is that your third round pick?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really great pick. See, we were talking about this on the earlier episode, that we think Montgomery could potentially slide up a little bit higher in that draft for RB hungry teams because he's just such a potentially can't miss player to take.
Allen Robinson goes behind him. CeeDee Lamb. Chris Godwin, 33rd overall. That's late third round. Dan, I like your team so far. Miles Sanders goes 34th overall.
Right in my face. That's what I was talking about. See, this low in the draft is a little hard to get Sanders.
DeAndre Swift goes 35th. Now Scott is on the clock.
As I mentioned, George Kittle did fall to me once again. This has been happening in every mock draft I've done, so I'm going to take him.
There's your tight end for the year, bro.
And this one here. And as I've said as well, Josh Jacobs continues to slide in these drafts. I'm not sure why that is. Hopefully our Raiders fan will show up drunk or blind or something and he won't notice.
Unfortunately, he's not blind and he doesn't drink.
So it's probably not going to work out for me, but that's the type of player that I'm definitely looking to target.
Fourth round, that's a nice pick, Josh Jacobs.
If I was earlier in the draft, it wouldn't change who I would have taken in these potential players, so it would be almost easier to get those types of guys earlier in the third round.
Amari Cooper goes after that, 38th. We just started the fourth round. Still got top wide receivers. Oh, Mike Evans just went 39th. Robert Woods, Darrell Henderson. Julio Jones off the board, 40th overall. And then behind Julio, we got Robert Woods. String of wide receivers going here. Cooper, Evans, Jones, Woods.
Yeah, that'll happen when guys take running back. You will eventually see a run of the best of the rest going, and that's going to be a natural progression that you'll see.
Darrell Henderson goes mid-fourth round. I really like that pick. I think that's a steal for this guy Young here. Dan is on the clock.
I'm going T.J. Hawkinson, probably the safest bet to be top position in the tight end when it comes to Jared Goff getting the ball to him. He probably doesn't have potential to bust.
A lot of quarterbacks still available. Mahomes the only one gone.
Makes it really hard to want to grab a quarterback when you just see them so many out there.
Absolutely.
You're still looking to fill out the roster.
Strong opinion, just wait.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert. DJ Moore goes after Dan's pick. Adam Thielen, Mark Andrews. And I'm on deck. And then we got Cooper Kupp going. Okay, so I got 2 wide receivers already. I got 1 running back. I really like this Tyler Lockett pick. Kareem Hunt, Kyler Murray. All right, so I'm going to go with my guy Kyler Murray here because he's the quarterback I do want. And he probably won't be there.
Yeah.
Probably won't be there if I don't take him with one of these 2 picks here.
Especially when we're in the swing pick, you have to be much more calculative about what you do because there's always such a long wait between your picks. So if you want a guy, you got to grab him.
Yeah. Now looking at running backs, which I need here, I'm gonna go with Myles Gaskin, because looking at all the other running backs behind him, you got Etienne, Hunt, Mike Davis, Sermon, Chase Edmonds. I like Gaskins out of all those guys. Kenny Golladay goes after that. I do like the Lockett pick though. That was another option, but stuck with only one running back still. So Deontay Johnson goes 51st overall, followed by Josh Allen. That's our third quarterback off the board. So now you're thinking, all right, maybe I need a quarterback soon. T. Higgins follows 53rd overall.
And this is going to be a little bit of a reach, but this is a guy that we're really high on out of Jacksonville. So we're taking DJ Chark.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
There you go.
The secret is out on DJ Chark now. That's it. I've screwed myself.
Scott, yeah. Scott was real high on him, and he divulged some valuable information earlier on in another episode, and now we're all high on DJ Chark.
I think it was inevitable, though. I think he's a little bit too in the spotlight to go that far down the list. One of those early mock things.
Yeah. So DJ Chark to Dan, 5th round, 54th overall. Followed by Lamar Jackson. That's our 4th quarterback off the board. And we're slowly getting to the end of the 5th round here where Scott's going to take 2 picks for us. Travis Etienne goes after Lamar.
I do like Etienne. He's a guy that I've been looking at, but I don't have a lot to look at quite yet, so I'm not overly reaching for this. Him and Robinson, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Jacksonville.
He could be, high risk, high reward kind of guy, right?
Maybe Robinson will have another good year. I'm not sure yet, so I'm not looking to break the bank on him. That's why he's not on my team right now.
Mike Davis is drafted 57th overall in the 5th round. We got 2 more picks before Scott. So here we go. We got Kyle Pitts gone 58th. You don't. I like Kyle Pitts. And then Tyler Lockett followed.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And then Scott is on the clock. So Tyler Lockett went 59th overall.
So reaching a little bit here. But for right now, I'm looking at running backs. I did take David Johnson. I looked at him last year, and it wasn't too bad. We'll see how one of his last, prime years in the NFL will go here. He's 29 now, so looking to squeeze a little bit more juice out of that orange. And I was debating between a few different players. I took James Robinson for now, but I did notice Juju Smith-Schuster on there. I'm wondering how big Ben's elbow is, if he's going to have a return to form. I might turn around and go draft Juju as a potential third receiver, which I would be quite happy with.
Absolutely.
I'm just not too sure this early in the preseason and pre-training camp, whatever you want to call it. So
that would be a really good set of receivers right there. You got Juju, Hopkins, and Metcalf.
Yeah. So I was eyeballing Juju. I took James Robinson for now, but at this point in the draft, believe it or not, I'm not really prepared to have a final roster for the week 1 right now. So I'm kind of just throwing some different things around here.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk goes following 62nd overall, and then followed by Kareem Hunt, 63rd. We're in the
I was looking at
6th
Kareem
round.
Hunt as well. I was looking at him, maybe. He had good success with them last year. Not sure if they'll repeat it. Just not really too sure, but no reason to not think that.
He was one of the highest ranked
just crazy handcuffs
running backs left on the board there.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, 64th overall. All right, so
also would be looking at IDP players in our case now. Obviously, we would have
5th, 6th round.
It's almost always someone breaks and goes for the big boy at that point. If anyone's interested to know, it changes these types of drafts a lot. But I wouldn't take one over Juju. I would still take these running backs. I've done that before and made a huge mess of my team by going too early on defense and not grabbing the quality running back, wide receivers that were still available. You have one injury and you're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, good point, Scott.
Yeah.
So Russell Wilson goes after Dak.
Too bad.
And then Odell Beckham goes 66. Dan is on the clock.
Odell will not be on my team this year. I guarantee it.
Me neither.
Just too much heartbreak.
Quarterbacks. We got 6 gone.
So I went with Cortland Sutton, bounce back candidate.
If Sutton wasn't coming back from that massive injury, I would probably be Team Sutton, but I'm a little nervous about that, so I probably would lean towards Judy. Judy's going a lot later too, so you can basically have him for quite the discount.
I don't know about a lot later. I guess we'll find out.
Still on the board right now.
We'll find out soon, yeah. So after Sutton, Dan, Damian Harris went 68th. Ronald Jones, Chase Claypool, Chase Edmonds, and now I'm on the clock. I really like Javonte Williams, and he's at the top of the board right here. I'm gonna go with Javonte Williams. Really like him. I think he's gonna be the starter in Denver, and maybe not week 1, but soon. I think he's a stud. And then 19 seconds. I really like Jamar Chase, but not this high probably. When you got Juju still there, got my guy Tyler Higbee. Need a tight end. And that's who I like. I really like Tyler Higbee, so I'm going to go with him. Aaron Rodgers is still on the board. I don't know how that's possible, but still a few good quarterbacks out there. Deebo Samuel goes 74th overall. Trey Sermon, 75th overall.
Yeah, apologies to the fans. I've just been kind of taking the draft seriously and looking at my queue and looking at the players available to me and who I can potentially grab here. So we're
well, there's a lot of good players
focusing a little bit
here at the top of the board. Still, you got Jamar Chase, Juju Smith. You got Raheem Mostert, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. There's some good guys out there.
So we're going to do a little bit of a reach here because this is just too great a value to pass up, even if he is coming off an injury and going to miss the start of time. But taking Michael Thomas.
I was gonna take him with my next pick, by the way. So Dan's on the right track there.
Good job, Dan. So Trey Sermon goes 75th, Robbie Anderson 76, Ryan Tannehill 77, and then Dan takes Michael Thomas in the 7th round, 78th overall, and he's gonna miss some time. But I think that's a good pick, hopefully.
Yeah, we were down on him during the news cycle, but what I should have mentioned is in the perfect draft, I would have him on my bench. In the perfect draft where I got some running backs that I like and I got the guys I want, I would definitely stash him. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for the upside, the high stakes, the gamblers, the people that really... So yeah, it was a smart pick.
Yeah. Dallas Goedert follows Michael Thomas, and then Noah Fant goes 80th overall in the 7th round. Melvin Gordon follows 81st, and we're coming up to the end of the 7th round for Scott's pick. Jamar Chase still on the board. So Logan Thomas goes 83rd overall. Now it's on Scott. Scott for 2 picks.
Like I've been telling people, I took Deshaun Watson for the time being, and until something different happens, that will be a guy that I'm targeting. And I took him.
I think that's a homer pick, to be honest.
No. I panicked and grabbed a guy because I want to keep this thing going. I took Henry Ruggs, who we didn't mention during our news cycle in our previous episode. 13 pounds of muscle apparently he added this offseason. So
nice.
He's looking to have a real serious run. I know John Gruden wants to not look like an idiot drafting him, so they're trying to come together and have a successful season. Yeah. I believe in Ruggs that could have a successful season.
So yeah, 85th overall, Henry Ruggs to Scott, followed by Jamar Chase. Finally, he fell in the draft. 87th goes the LA Rams defense. 88th goes the Washington football team defense. 89th, the Pittsburgh defense. We got to run a defensive teams here.
Yeah, we would be heavily integrating them into IDP now at this point. They would be flying fast and furious. It does make things interesting because it keeps really good names just popping on the board. You'll see in these drafts that it's kind of not boring, but it's going to be a lot of stash players at this point in mock drafts.
So the next guy I went with is he's going to see a lot of volume right now because he is a starting running back, one of the few left in the draft, and that's Michael Carter. He is the starting running back, but he's a starting running back for the New York Jets. So,
Proceed with caution.
Yeah, exactly.
So the run of defense, we got the Rams, the football team, the Steelers, and then the Ravens. And then Dan took Michael Carter at 91st overall, followed by A.J. Dillon, followed by Rob Gronkowski. And then we got the 49ers defense, 94th overall.
So just real quick, if you were absolutely stuck and you had to choose between Michael Thomas's injury or the lack of volume that Antonio Brown is gonna see, who are you taking?
What was the first one?
Michael Thomas's injury, or the lack of volume that we might see Antonio Brown?
AB is pretty finished as a supreme player. I want to make a slight note. I wouldn't have taken Ruggs over Juju Smith-Schuster. I just couldn't see him on my screen when I was trying to scroll. So for anyone that actually cares, I would have definitely taken Juju there instead of Henry Ruggs. I just didn't see him. That would not happen to me on a real draft day with my own notes and everything,
All right, so here we go. So we got a little run going on here. So Tom Brady goes 95th overall, and then I had 2 picks to close out the 8th round. I went with Juju, who wouldn't have been there. This 30-second clock is real fast,
it's
right?
Fine. It's just that I would have taken him for sure. I just couldn't scroll up, and I didn't even know he was still there.
Yeah, and then followed Juju is Raheem Mostert. I took Mostert to start the 9th round, and then we got Curtis Samuel following that. Live drafts are much better. Sometimes it'll take a minute, it'll take 2 minutes, and we're all patient. We all know we all enjoy this, so there's no rush on taking your picks. Here we got 30 seconds. It's pretty quick.
I'm very quick in those because I come pretty prepared. So when my pick comes up, I do know who I'm looking for generally.
Yes.
Which is fine. It's a good thing. Not everyone has to be slow. It's just when we're scrolling through this Yahoo board, I'm not using the queue very much right now. If you're gonna do this way, there's actually proper ways to do it with the search function and the queue.
And
we're
also,
just kind of messing around.
Sometimes when you're doing a live draft, is someone will snake your pick right before it. So I know sometimes I take a couple minutes to make my picks.
Oh yeah, that happens. But I always have like a backup player already in my mind because I'm very meticulous when it comes to picking players.
I mean, for me to do an online draft, I don't know, man.
We did it for hockey that one time, and it's anarchy, man. Yeah. It's just smash grab as fast as you can, just hanging on. It's unpleasant.
I mean, for anybody new,
this crushes new people
in fantasy football.
It's not conducive.
You should definitely do a live draft. All right, so here we go. So we got Antonio Brown, and then Zach Moss, Jerry Jeudy, and then Dan took his guy.
Gus the Bus. I was actually going to take Jerry Jeudy, but he just went, and then I panicked, and I saw in the queue that I had Gus the Bus.
So Gus Edwards at 102. Justin Tucker, Harrison Butker, and then Greg Zuerlein, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I was taking a backup quarterback to cover my Deshaun Watson, just in case some wacky stuff happens and he ends up not playing. If this were to be a potential thing I do, I'm gonna have a backup quarterback that I like. Relatively. I saw there was actually a few decent ones still on the board, so it didn't have to be Trevor Lawrence. I saw Aaron Rodgers was still there. Maybe it's silly I took Lawrence over Rodgers.
Had you taken Herbert if he hadn't just been taken right before, or would you stuck with Lawrence?
That's probably the responsible thing to do. I'm probably putting a little bit too much hype into Lawrence, whereas all these other guys are pretty established. Even Joe Burrow was still there. Yeah. Any one of them probably would have been a fine pick. I was just looking for a backup quarterback to cover my Deshaun Watson risk pick.
And then you took James Conner.
I took James Conner. I'm just looking to fill out some running backs on the roster. Anyone that plays this will know running backs go down fast and furious, and it's nice to have a couple on your bench if you can.
Yeah. And then we got Devin Singletary, Leonard Fournette, Will Fuller, Aaron Rodgers finally, and Brandon Cooks.
And sleeper here, because now we're getting into the dart throws, Laviscus Chavant.
Chanot.
Yeah. See, that's how much of a sleeper he is.
No, I like that pick, man. People were really high on him, and I'm not too
kind of plays that Percy Harvin role, a little bit of that receiver, running back type stuff. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, so that's in the 10th round, mid-10th round. And then we got Latavius Murray and Jarvis Landry going. Aaron Rodgers is going to go way before this 10th round. I don't know. It must be, I don't know why he's ranked so low.
I could have taken him instead of Lawrence. I wasn't really paying too much. I was trying to scroll up and down and see. I didn't see him there. I would not endorse someone taking Lawrence over Rodgers.
Yeah. And then we got Devontae Smith and Alexander Madison. And now I'm on the clock. I like Jamal Williams. I don't have much faith in DeAndre Swift. Like Scott said, you need some running backs. So I'm going to take Jamal Williams.
Seems like a smart pick.
Yeah, I like the Jamal Williams pick.
Yeah, I was eyeballing him.
Let's look at the top 20 on the board here. Who do I like here? Oh, Irv Smith. That's my other sleeper tight end. But Gesicki is still there as well. Oh, I like Hollywood Brown here. I really like that pick. I'm surprised he's still there.
Just hasn't shown that production. Him and Lamar haven't quite gelled to that massive upside. That's why you're going to see him low in the draft.
He did really well for me. I think it was championship week or the semifinals.
Leaving a good impression always helps. Where you're like, I did it with him once, so maybe again, yeah, for sure. But you won't see him overdrafted right now.
Yeah, I like that pick. I mean, when it comes to 11th round,
absolutely.
Hollywood Brown, that's not too bad. All right, so followed is Tony Pollard, Corey Davis, who's he's with the Jets now. He had a good year with Tennessee. Matthew Stafford, that's a good pick as well. Michael Pittman, people are high on him. So he's still got some good players on the board here. Dan's on the clock.
So I covered my bases because I don't know who Trevor Lawrence is going to be throwing the ball to, so I just decided to take all his receivers here. I've got DJ Chark, Chanot, and I just went with Marvin Jones Jr.
So you're saying you're high on Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball, scoring touchdowns.
We're gonna be airing it out, you know.
Tyler Boyd goes after Dan's pick. Kenyon Drake. And we got some news on Drake as well, eh? What happened?
No, I guess he has a little bit of the COVID there. He's on the non-injury list.
That's what happened.
But that quarterback battle, that's not really a battle out there in Jacksonville. Though, with the battle of the long hair, they might be the best looking quarterbacks in the league right now, you know, as far as duos go. But Gardner Minshew said he hasn't taken a dump in weeks because number 2 just isn't an option for him.
That's disgusting. But I'll do something for our non-IDP fans. I'm going to draft the Tampa Bay defense. These guys are an incredible defense.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, they get the job done.
So we had Kenyon Drake, Mike Williams, Robert Tonyan, Naheem Hines, and to close out the 11th round, Scott takes the Tampa Bay defense. Surprised they're still there considering all the top defenses went in the 8th.
I was surprised to see them there too. If you're a person that does this, I might actually have to punt this pick because I'm having a hard time finding. So I didn't find anyone there. I'm having a hard time finding players.
Who would you have taken?
I was looking at Traquan Smith, but I'm not too sure right now, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I was looking around. I really liked the Tampa Bay defense. As if you guys are playing in this classic forum, I was like, my God, they were incredible in the Super Bowl. They were incredible all year. They're so deep. I don't see how they're going to have not a good defense this year. Yeah. They're active.
And Traquan is he's still ranked pretty low, but I don't think the Yahoo has taken into consideration that Michael Thomas is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, it's based off of average draft position. So as people grab these guys, they go up and down the board throughout the preseason is what you see. So it's kind of a public opinion thing.
Yeah, and not everybody's aware.
Which is okay because it gives you an idea of where players are at and everyone else's head. So you know that they're going to go lower or higher.
So Darnell Mooney follows, Joe Burrow, Mike Gesicki finally goes, Michael Gallup, and then Matt Ryan, 138th overall, 12th round. Dan on the clock.
And now it's time for this guy here to put up or shut up. Now that he's in Carolina, he's chucking the ball. He's got to be a leader. It's got to be Sammy Darnold.
And that's your first quarterback, Dan.
Is it really? You waited too long.
Sam Darnold.
Oh boy, don't wait that long, everyone. I wouldn't recommend that. You know, I got 2 guys already.
I said he had a good team after the 3rd round. I take it all back.
I only wait that long because Yahoo makes you take a quarterback. Otherwise, I'd just be going right to the waiver wire.
Rashad Penny.
That's an awful take.
Irv Smith goes right before me. That's unfortunate. I like him. Hunter Henry. The Cleveland defense, and now I'm on the clock. And who do we got here? We got Devontae Parker, not too bad. Evan Ingram. Oh, Jalen Waddle. I'm gonna take Devontae Parker. He's the top receiver left on the board. And looking at the top 20 guys there. See now this guy here is. Had I seen T.Y. Hilton, I probably would have taken him instead of Parker. But this guy here, McCole Hardman, really high on him.
This would be a good time to take
really high on him, taking him to start the 13th round, 145th overall. And Sammy Watkins is no longer there. So
Dan's in a bit of trouble, but I see Carson Wentz on the board still and Baker Mayfield. Those are two possible guys that you can roster if you're in trouble. It's not the sexy top 5 guy, but at least you're going to have someone who's played in the NFL and knows how to throw a touchdown.
yeah.
So,
Couple kickers go after Nick Folk, Ryan Suckup.
I wouldn't have taken Darnold ahead of those guys. I'm not sure why you did that. Maybe you just believe in him more, but I would have went that way.
I mean, yeah, the 30-second clock again. Buffalo, Jason Sanders, the Colts defense. Oh, sorry, Dan, you took the Colts defense.
Yeah, because, the South, it's going to be Jacksonville and Indianapolis, so, I've got all the Jaguars and the Colts defense, so I'll cover my bases there.
And followed by Adam Troutman and Austin Hooper, tight ends. Now, when you're looking at the draft board, you can see what teams or what guys have taken quarterbacks, right? So you kind of know, okay, I can wait till my next pick because all these guys already have quarterbacks. Now, barring they draft a backup, which can happen.
I did.
But Kirk Cousins goes at 153, followed by Philip Lindsay. Baker Mayfield right before Scott. Now Scott's on the clock for 2 picks.
I'm debating between Zach Ertz or Jonnu Smith as a back-end tight end. I'm not sure which one would be the right pick right now. I went with Ertz, but it could easily be Smith. I'm just not 100% sure right now.
Yeah. Zach Ertz for Scott to close the 13th round.
I took Derrick Henry's backup, but I was just kind of perusing the board. It's just a little tough now at this point in the draft with so late and not.
Darrington Evans.
Yeah.
He's a rookie, right?
Yeah. Or a second, I can't remember. But I was just kind of looking at handcuffs and guys that might step in and fill if another Cam Akers were to happen or something. But that's really what you should be doing late in the draft, looking for that high upside stash, even if it's a few weeks. This happened last year with J.K. Dobbins, where he was garbage for most of the year. He got dropped and picked up a bunch, and then he came back and crushed me in the playoffs.
So the Arizona defense goes Jalen Waddle, Tariq Cohen at 160, J.D. McKissick, and then Marlon Mack, and Dan is on the clock.
Got to take my boy out of Houston. Got to take Nico Collins.
Nico Collins for Dan.
And speaking of Houston, we have a little bit of an update here that the Eagles are actually monitoring the Deshaun Watson situation, and they do have the draft capital to acquire him after getting 2 first-round picks for Carson Wentz there. So if Deshaun Watson gets the green light to play, the Eagles definitely looking to make a move on him.
I just hope he slides through the real draft because I'll keep bringing him up my board and hopefully I'll get him. I don't care who he plays for. I want to say I took Evanston or whatever his name is, but I would have taken Kerryon Johnson, the backup running back on Philadelphia now. Yeah. Kerryon Johnson looking for a new chapter, looking to reassert himself. I would definitely grab this guy as a stash.
After Dan's Nico Collins pick, we got Jalen Reagor, Nelson Aguilar, Trey Lance, Jonnu Smith at 167th, and I'm about to make my first pick. And T.Y. Hilton still on the board. There's my guy.
There you go.
So that closes out the 14th round. I think this is our last pick. So Jamison Crowder is a guy I like.
He is great in PPR. He is a PPR machine.
Traquan Smith right here is the guy I'm going to take just because of the Michael Thomas injury. He probably won't be on the board this late. But yeah, Traquan Smith is a steal in the 15th round.
Yeah, and the mock guys get lost at the bottom of the board like that. People just aren't really looking or paying attention. But when you get to the real day, they do have a little bit more of in mind of what's going on.
Exactly.
For sure.
Cole Beasley, 170th. A couple guys still on the board here. Anthony Fursker, tight end, Tennessee. Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, 3 good tight ends still left. John Brown, wide receiver, Vegas now. I saw another guy here too.
I only have 1 pick left, and there's 2 players that I actually do like, so I would have readjusted. Well, like is a strong word, but again, Kerryon Johnson, I'm gonna probably grab if the right situation occurs for me to get him.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of eyeballing AJ Green here. Maybe he'll have a little something left to play in Arizona on that team that looks like they're gonna be pretty strong down the field.
Daniel Jones, Rodrigo Blankenship,
Yep.
kicker for the Colts, followed by Van Jefferson Jr., wide receiver, LA Rams. Dan takes Matt Gay, kicker for the Rams, followed by the Kansas City defense.
Your
the
only
Denver
quarterback is
defense,
Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
the New England defense, the Miami defense. The one player I was looking at on the board still available is Russell Gage. Actually, I think that's a good pick.
I mean, if he doesn't work, if Darnold doesn't work out after week 1, there's a bunch of guys.
Derek Carr's out there, Carson Wentz. There's even now there's a few guys that you could roster, so you don't have to be too panicked if you miss them.
Just use the waiver wire as an extension of your bench when it comes to quarterback.
Will Lutz taken 179 and Kerryon Johnson to close out the draft.
I was looking at AJ Green though.
All right, so how do you feel about your team?
Well, I definitely like the backs that I have here. I took a couple of them. Nick Chubb, obviously going to be the workhorse. Pairing with David Montgomery, definitely the strength of my team there. And the discounted deal that you got on Devontae Adams is just second to none. The Jaguars, they're going to be in and out depending on, how that all shakes out. But I'd rather, hedge my bets than be left holding the bag. So we're definitely gonna have a lot of fun watching them. And as far as Sam Darnold goes, you can just use the waiver wire as an extension of your bench because there are still tons of guys out here. I think Infamous Jimis is still out here. Carson Wentz is there. Give Zach Wilson a look. There's tons of guys, so I'm not too worried.
There was some good quarterbacks still on the board though late. I don't like the Darnold pick. I mean, it is what it is. I would as a backup maybe, but I mean
For sure. Not me.
Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers was still on the board, but besides the quarterback position, I think you got a really good team here, especially the running back core. Running backs are solid. And Devontae Adams steal in the mid-second round. That was a great pick. Scott?
I'm definitely happy with the formula. I'm very confident that I can make the receiver thing work. The big dependency for me will be if I can get George Kittle or not in the third round, and if I don't, it would change things quite dramatically because I would be looking at a completely different position player, which would set off, we'll see. But there's some really decent players late still. Like the Juju Smith-Schuster was very appealing to me. So there's enough guys to fill up my team and work around the lack of running back power. I mean, a guy like Josh Jacobs to me is every bit of capable as everybody else. And I'm hoping maybe David Johnson will still have a little bit left. We will see. I grabbed a bunch of guys behind him to try to insulate that and go with a little bit of a running back by committee fantasy numbers thing. And
looking at the team, I mean, if Deshaun Watson plays, you got a great quarterback, and your tight end George Kittle. And you're looking at your receivers with Metcalf and Hopkins. And who was the third one here? Was it Henry Ruggs? No.
I wanted Juju, but I just didn't see him at the time. I was looking at him. I would have taken him pretty seriously.
So I mean, you got a great tight end, you got a great set of receivers.
Yeah.
If Watson plays, it's a really good team, man.
For me, it's just running back it is quite chaotic. Injuries happen and guys are picking them up off the waiver wire, and it's just changing every week. So I don't sweat it too much. Early on, it hurts because guys are stacking up some big points with their workhorses. Yeah. But as they thin out, it feels kind of a bit more fair for you. So I don't panic too much.
And Yahoo right now just rating our teams there. Still quite some time, so I don't know if we'll get into that. But see.
Are the ratings up right now?
No, it takes 7 minutes, so it's going to be a little bit of time.
As I said, though, if Watson were to not play, there was still a bunch of decent, almost really great quarterbacks that I would have grabbed early to, not early, but like I said, I took Lawrence there. There was still Rodgers at the time. There was Burrow at the time. There was guys for me to take as a backup.
Justin Herbert.
That'll feel just fine having. I carry 2 quarterbacks early in the season just in case or whatever, and I work my way from there.
That's a good draft. Yeah. I don't know. My team's all right. I got Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, great set of receivers there. Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker, and a guy I'm really high on, McCole Hardman and Traquan Smith for at least the first 6 weeks.
That's right. You draft from the first spot. Drafting from the first spot is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
First off, you have to take one player and then watch the next 20-some that you can't have go by you.
Yeah.
You have to be very smart, and if you lose that player, you're in a lot of trouble. Take it from a guy who's had the first pick a lot in fantasy. It's just a tough spot to be in.
I got a good set of receivers, like a lot here. I drafted a lot of receivers. Probably should have taken a couple extra running backs. McCaffrey, Myles Gaskin as my second running back. Not too confident with that one. Although I got Javonte Williams there and Jamal Williams as well. And then we got Raheem Mostert, who, injuries and also competition as well. So we'll see about that.
So right now, actually, the Yahoo ratings are out for this mock draft, and Rob did score the highest at 861. So Yahoo really likes his team. Looks like Scott was graded out at 555 and projected fantasy points, and I'm projected to finish there at 7th at 714. So I wouldn't even make the playoffs. I would just make the playoffs in this.
People just need to know what mock drafting is about. It's about seeing what you're getting for what you're giving up, and if you can figure that out and nail that down, you're gonna have a pretty successful time. When you know what's coming down the pipeline in these drafts, because you know who's coming in rounds 1 and 2, basically give or take a round or two. People don't just magically fall or rise 5 rounds, So the knowledge is power when it comes to that.
Yeah. All right, guys. That wraps up the mock draft. I hope you liked this episode, and hopefully our picks are guys that you like as well come draft day. Thanks for listening, and like and subscribe, Fantasy Football Scouts, across all platforms.
Ciao.
Till next time.